Hello, everyone, and welcome to our Techinar Stop Buying Leads, Create Real Estate Sales Funnels to Finance Your Dreams. I'm Susan Harrison, Senior Vice President with EXIT Realty, and I'll be moderating this session. If you have questions throughout the presentation, please type them into the question box on your GoToWebinar pane, and we'll do our best to address them. You're in listen-only mode, and today's Techinar is being recorded. Wow, you're in for a treat today. I've had the opportunity to watch our special guest speaker on the stage at Inman Connect, and she's going to share some great information with you. You're going to learn how to create buyer and seller lead systems that add customers to your CRM while you sleep, how to calculate the number of leads you need to add to your CRM to earn the income you desire, and much more. Annette, I'm so excited about today's presentation.
Yes, Susan, absolutely. Welcome, attendees. We have an exciting Techinar ahead. Marki is about to give you a wealth of knowledge that you can easily apply into your business. Practical things that you could do immediately to maximize your efforts. She's going to impart wisdom on the future and what you have to pay attention to today. This session, I got to tell you, this is the equivalent of eating steak for breakfast. Now, Marki is well known and respected in the real estate industry nationally. She's also an EXIT associate, which we're so proud to support her. And if you're not currently connected with Marki just yet, you'll want to be. Please welcome my friend, Marki.
Good afternoon, everyone. This is your girl, Marki Lemons Ryhal, real estate keynote speaker and Facebook Live host. And there is nothing I love to do more than generate leads. I also teach class from the concept of seek first to understand. I do not believe that there are any dumb questions, so make sure that you are typing in the chat bar because we want to make sure that you get it. When we start thinking about leads, leads are the core of our business. And every single year, as real estate professionals, we're spending $12 billion on lead generation. And you want to spend money on lead generation, but I want you to earn the highest return on your investment. I want you to think with an entrepreneurial mind, and every single morning when you wake up, the very first thing we need to do is generate leads. Because we're going to take these leads and add them to our customer relationship management system. They're going to fuel our email marketing. Now, I was a little shocked that we spend so much money on leads. I know that in my past, I purchased leads. I was in the top 10% of realtors my very first year in real estate here in the city of Chicago. I was doing $12 million in annual production, and I was using a tool then that fueled me with leads. However, I get my highest conversion rate from people that I already knew. So imagine this. You've just set your annual goals, and you know that you want to earn a six-figure income. Every day, people come into this industry to earn a six-figure income. So let's say that in 2019, because you still have time, you want to earn $100,000. Well, in order to earn $100,000, if your average price point is $250,000, I'm going to need you to add 2,880 contacts to your customer relationship management system. Here's why. If you think about conversion rates, you have a 1 in 50 chance of converting people you've never met. Let's say those people who come to you via the internet and they leave you their information on your website. Well, if you ever meet a person, you have a 1 in 6 chance of converting them. So even though I want you to add 2,880 contacts to your customer relationship management system, it's only going to net you 20 transactions. Now, we've done the math on this. We know that this math is pretty precise, but I'm a person who always questions the math. So I decided to use another tool called HomeSnap. And I went in and I investigated top producing agents in my marketplace because there was one number that kind of stood out to me. And I have that highlighted for you. It states that 1 out of 2 This is the ratio that for every 2 listings you take, you'll actually sell 1. So I looked at people who sell on average more than $70 million in annual production. And when I tell you that the top producers, the cream of the crop, they are only selling 1 out of every 2 listings that they take. And I have systems that show us this. So you want to always have more leads and more listings than you need, because everyone that you meet will not use you. Every property that you go on a listing appointment for, they will not use you. And every listing you take, you will not close. So how are we going to use things like Facebook and Instagram and free online tools to generate leads? I'm going to show you how we're going to use them. This is what I want you to keep in mind. Every single day, people tell you about their needs and wants in real time. We understand who's a highly motivated buyer or a highly motivated seller because on a Twitter, an Instagram, or a Facebook, they just told you about their motivation. We understand who's recently engaged. We often know who's getting a divorce before they tell you they're having a divorce party. And so we want to add these 2,880 contacts because we're hanging out online every single day and people are telling you all their business in real time. We want to set up the internet to generate us leads in our sleep for little to no money. To validate these numbers, right, I want you to think about 12, 3, 2. That means that you need to have 12 listings. You want to take 3 new listings every month, but you need to sell 2 listings a month. That's 24 transactions. So I told you 20. So we're looking at the fact to get to this $100,000 per year, 20 to 24. I tell people always set a big, hairy, audacious goal. Shoot high, and it's okay if you fall a little short. You can still live the life that you want to live. But how are we going to use Facebook to get 12 listings? Well, you're at the right place today. Digital marketing is going to change drastically in 2019. Mark Zuckerberg has stated that this is going to be the year of stories. So if you are holding your phone right now, vertical is stories. It's the way that we hold our mobile device every single day. This year, stories are predicted to take over our feeds. We now have IGTV, which is Instagram television. You're starting to see ads on vertical content. That's not the only thing. We're actually using Messenger more than social media itself. So we're going to see a lot more with messaging and bots, B-O-T-S. Now, even though it's going to change, some things remain the same. Every single year, our marketing expenses go up. I can tell you my marketing expenses don't go up. I actually create more content in order to reduce my marketing budget. And so I'm not a person who places a lot of ads on the internet because I am consistently creating content every single day in order to keep my costs down. Now, I do realize that time is money. However, I do have on my calendar that every single day I am supposed to generate leads, and I leverage that content for lead generation. You cannot build your company or your brand on one channel. About 2 weeks ago, Facebook and Instagram had an outage. It was the longest outage they've ever had. And I can tell you, people were having a fit on the internet. But I will say that people love Facebook. Now, I've heard some rumors. A lot of people believe that millennials don't use Facebook, or seasoned professionals don't use Facebook. I beg to differ. My aunt is 87 years old and she has a Facebook account. I tend to see her at church on Sundays. I can tell you right now, I won't be at church this Sunday, but the following Sunday when I show up at church, my aunt is going to have a comment in chronological order based on what I've posted on Facebook. So between her going to look or a trustee at her church telling her, she knows exactly what I am doing on Facebook. She's not going to like, comment, or share, but she's going to say something to me face to face. On the other hand, I have a 22-year-old son. A lot of people say millennials don't use Facebook. That's not true. I posted a nice leopard print blazer a few weeks ago. I want to wear it to my son's college graduation. My son did not like, comment, or share on Facebook, but he did take a screenshot of that jacket. He texted me the jacket with the caption, "This is not graduation worthy attire." And so, whether you're 22 to 87, they are looking, and we need to be where they're looking. Right behind Facebook, you have Twitter, then you have Instagram, LinkedIn, and YouTube. I will tell you, all of these platforms have something in common, and that is the ability to load video. Facebook has live video. If you look at Twitter, we still have Periscope live video, Instagram live video, YouTube live video, and right now LinkedIn is beta testing live streaming video. As we come down, Pinterest, WhatsApp, IGTV, Snapchat, Twitch, TikTok. We are going to see substantial growth in IGTV and TikTok this year. And something stands out to me on this screen, and you might not know what I'm getting ready to say, but Facebook, Instagram, WhatsApp, IGTV are all owned by Facebook. And so you want to think about, how can I start to leverage these tools where I know whether you're 22 to 87, that means they are of home buying age, where I can kind of hang out in the palm of your hand. Well, we're going to start with Instagram. Something is going on over in Instagram. The whole atmosphere is changing. I've actually grown my followers by 700, which is roughly right about 15% in the past 60 days. But my IGTV has grown views by 818% in the past 14 days. What is IGTV? IGTV is vertical video. It's considered long form video. It needs to be a minimum of 15 seconds up to 10 minutes. Now, if you have more than 10,000 followers, you can go up to 60 minutes. I do have a recommendation though. On IGTV, there's been a major change in the last 21 days where this video now can preview inside of Instagram and on your Instagram feed. I would highly recommend that the video you load to IGTV is a minimum of 60 seconds, but you do not want to shorten it by 1 second. So I've been telling my fellow realtors 60-ish seconds. So think 61, 62, because if it is less than 60 seconds, it will not preview. And this is one of the ways that I've been able to increase those views by 818%. Another way is through Instagram stories, which again is vertical content that disappears in 24 hours. But on your mobile device inside of the Instagram app, you can actually archive your stories and bring them back to life by making them a highlight. You also have Instagram Live. Here's another recommendation. Instagram Live on Instagram is not like Facebook Live. Instagram Live also disappears in 24 hours. If you want that live video, you must download it to your mobile device as soon as you stop filming it before you post it to Instagram. If you do not download it before, there is no way to go back and get it. Your traditional Instagram posts are more like a blog post now because you can write long commentary and you can include up to 30 hashtags, okay? Only on Instagram is it socially acceptable to use up to 30 hashtags, but the recommendation is 9. All studies show that 9 is the ideal number that gets the most amount of engagement. And the last thing that you get to do over on Instagram is you could do a carousel post. That's when you can load up to 10 photos or 10 videos. Now I'm going to say that again, or 10 videos. A lot of time, we don't know how to hack a system. On Instagram, you can only load to your feed a video that is less than 60 seconds. But let's say your video is 3 minutes or 4 minutes. You can actually use carousel post and you could load a 4-minute video. But the way you would do that is you would have the first 60 seconds, the second 60 seconds, the third 60 seconds. Each would be an individual post, and you tell people to either swipe to the left or swipe to the right. So you want to have a combination of these posts, but there is one big problem with Instagram. Unlike a LinkedIn, a Twitter, or a Facebook, Instagram has only one link that will allow you to leave Instagram, okay? So if you were to go and post something on Facebook, you can put a link on every single post and link people away from Facebook. Instagram does not give you that capability. There is only one link. Do you plan to invest more in story ads in 2019? 61% of brands have stated yes. I'm not telling you to invest money, but I will say you want to invest time. When you think about stories and investing time, because they disappear every 24 hours, you want to have a content plan where every day you're going to post something because it keeps you relevant in the news feed. So if you wait more than 24 hours, there is nothing out there for people to see inside of your stories. I want you to get your pen ready. The very first tool I want you to use, and I want you to use it for free, is a tool called Linktree. Up in the top left-hand corner, you will see the URL. So it is not a .com, it is a .ee. linktr.ee. What does Linktree allow me to do? So I told you there was a little problem with Instagram, and that's the fact that you only have one way to get out of Instagram. Well, we're going to change that. We're still going to have only one way. But when they come to this new landing page, we can include every link. So imagine this. This Saturday, you've scheduled 4 open houses. So you now have 4 different photos or 4 different videos posted to Instagram. Well, I don't know if I'm going to open house number 1, open house number 2, open house number 3, or open house number 4. And often what we do is we tell people click on the link in the bio, which I still want you to tell people click on the link in the bio. But now when they click on the link in the bio, I'm going to take them to one page where I have 4 different links, one to each of the open houses. But I'm also going to have a link to my website, and I'm also going to have a link to a seller's guide, and I'm also going to have a link to a buyer's guide. So the free tool is linktr.ee, and this is what this would look like. This is my Instagram account. Please follow me at MarkiLemons. You see that the arrow is posted to Linktree, okay? And I want you to take heed. My username on Instagram is Marki Lemons. I have branded my Linktree link to mirror my username on Instagram so that the branding is consistent. When people click on that Linktree link, it takes them to the standalone page with multiple links. Now, the very top link says sign up for social media news. I happen to have the paid version of Linktree, so I pay $6 per month. What I know is that every single day, someone clicks on that sign up for social media news, and now my Linktree account is adding that contact information to my MailChimp email system. I also know that people click on the Social Selling Made Simple podcast. I do podcast weekly, and I know that one of my episodes was downloaded 400 times. But I'm looking at those numbers on the amount of downloads. I know that I add people to Real Estate Live Facebook group every single day, somebody coming from Instagram. So instead of just having that one link, Linktree links you to a page with multiple links. So this is the view from the desktop. And let me say this, Linktree is not an app. I do need you to utilize it from your computer. And this is what it looks like on the mobile device. linktr.ee. But this is what the numbers look like. So you give it a name, you put the link where you want people to go. If you come over, you see a trash can right under that little yellow, it's not yellow, right under that green circle-like shape. It looks more like a rectangle with circles at the end. You'll notice there's a little graph. Well, when we look at that graph, you'll see the number 17, you see the number 71, you see the number 14. This is the amount of people who have clicked on each of those links. So I am measuring every single day how many people actually not only click on the Linktree link to go to the standalone page, but how many people are clicking on my EventBrite event. How many people are signing up for my private Facebook group? How many people are being added to my MailChimp email? Linktree is one of the numerous tools that allows you to capture leads from your Instagram activity, because LinkedIn only gives you one way to link out of Instagram, okay? So Linktree is going to be that first tool, but now you got to post consistently so that people will know that you exist. Are there any questions on Linktree? Just checking in to see if we have any questions. If not, then definitely we will wait until the end and I will answer all questions at that time. Okay, so we can wait till the end and I will answer all questions at that time. My next tool is a tool called Kiwi, but I want you to take note. At the very top, it says your free trial ends on October the 11th. So I like to test tools to see if they're going to work in my business before I pay for them. Kiwi Live. Look at the top left-hand corner, KIWILIVE.com. But I don't want you to sign up yet. I want you to wait until you have a special event planned before you sign up, because I want you to generate leads for free. Okay, I don't want you to have it as that tool and the free trial. That was a tongue twister. The free trial expires and you don't get to leverage it for free. So you go to Kiwi Live, right? And I want to show you the leads that I'm generating because I'm using Kiwi Live. While I was still under the free subscription, I had generated 132 leads. And if you look at the very bottom, you'll see my name, my email address. That was me, the very first person, testing out the system to make sure it worked. So the real number would be 131, okay? So while I was still under the free subscription, I generated 131 leads. Well, we're going to do this as a combination. So you're going to get KiwiLive.com, but I want you to wait until you're doing an event. I want you to start treating everything like an event. Every open house, every broker's tour. In order to maximize the visibility of that event, I want you to go and today get a free EventBrite account. Now, if you're in the Chicagoland area and you're on this webinar, what I would encourage you to do is to keep in mind that Chicago is the second largest market for EventBrite. And yes, there are numerous event registration tools online. However, EventBrite has the easiest registration process of any of the tools. But EventBrite also has wonderful relationships with Facebook. So what you're looking at right now on the left-hand side is what my EventBrite account looks like on the left with all of my events. And then on the right is the mobile application, because I want to know how many people are registered. Here's the very first benefit, besides the ease of using EventBrite, that you can get from EventBrite. Well, you see that at the very top, I had an event Friday, October the 26th. And at the very bottom, I had an event on December the 15th. Well, the beauty is I can always come back to that December event, and I can invite people who had registered for the October the 26th, the October the 30th, the November the 9th, the November the 27th events. So EventBrite gives me the ability to remarket future events to anyone who had registered in the past, okay? So I love that ability that I can get this future event out to people who had registered for a totally different event. The next benefit to EventBrite, anytime you set up an event in EventBrite, you can also have an event set up inside of Facebook with just a few clicks. So all of my EventBrite events become a Facebook event, and I have my event section under my Facebook business page, which means if I wanted to, I could spend some money on a Facebook ad to help register people. So on the left-hand side, you see all of my events, and then on the right-hand side, you see just one standalone event. One thing I want to point out to you is that EventBrite also, well, not EventBrite, Facebook owns a third-party tool, and that third-party tool is local, L-O-C-A-L. It is local. So now you have an app that competes with a Yelp or a Swarm, okay? You now have an app. So I did EventBrite. EventBrite communicates with Facebook events. Facebook events puts the events into an app called Local, and I get to remarket future events to past people who have registered, okay? So I'm gonna take you on a little journey of how I've used and incorporated these tools to work with one another, okay? We're gonna go on a little journey here together. Back on October the 20th, now remember, my free subscription had ended, but I had 131 people in the system. If you include me, 132. So on Saturday, October the 20th, 2018, we did a trolley tour with the Neighborhood Housing Service, the City of Chicago, Seaway National Bank, the Greater Chatham Initiative. 2 days before this event, on Thursday, I was flying back into Chicago, and they told me that they needed my help with the event. Well, there was one little problem with the fact that they needed my help. It was the fact that they wanted me to print out a 33-page color PDF, right, to the 78 people who had registered, okay? So I'm thinking to myself, there's absolutely no way I'm going to the office and I am printing out over 2,000 sheets of paper on color. Well, first of all, it wasn't in the budget, okay? Second of all, the time consumption to do so and to staple this, right? And I said, there's no way I'm going to do this. So we had 78 people registered, but we weren't necessarily the only people taking registration, as some people had paper registrations from some of these other organizations. So I tell them, don't worry about it. I am going to put everything online for online download. So I went back to my Kiwi tool, okay? And I used Kiwi to upload a 33-page PDF that would be delivered to the people who were attending the event, okay? So I got EventBrite. I have 78 people registered for this trolley tour. I do see that my chat button is going off here. Didn't know if we had a question. Sounds good. Can I
Yeah,
just
no,
see
you're
the,
good. Yep,
oh, we're
you're
good.
good.
Okay, making
You're
sure.
good.
Okay, so I'm not going to print these pages, right? So this is what ends up happening. Turned out to be a great day, actually. I go to do the event, all right? I take a white sheet of paper. I tell everybody, go to www.kiwilive.com, use the keyword Marki, or text Marki to 85377. Do not do both. Because what I knew was I wasn't going to print out one sheet of paper. I didn't have the time, nor was all that color copy in the budget for this event. We had 2 full trolleys. So this is 2 totally different trolleys. Both were completely full. We also had 10 pre-approved buyers that resulted from this trolley tour. But while I was standing at the front of the room telling people how they could get their 33-page handout, the 33-page handout had a map. It had every property we were going to go view. It had all the information for the different down payment assistance programs. And it had what we call a MMRP map. A MMRP map is micro market communities where people who live in the Chicagoland area can get a $15,000 non-refundable grant. But I want you to look at this. Kiwi Live, Kiwi Live, Kiwi Live, Kiwi Live. So as the people are doing what I told them to do, I'm receiving an email notification of their contact information. So I've saved hours in printing, I don't know, maybe $100 just in color cartridges. But let's look at this connection number. I went from 132 to 265 people in my system, right? That means that my numbers have actually increased by 133 people, and I spent no money, but now I have everybody in an Excel spreadsheet. So Kiwi Live plus the EventBrite, because we want to have an online presence, a presence inside of Facebook. We want the ability to remarket our events to this core group of people. But now I added a little spice to it. My Kiwi Live can sync with my MailChimp to add people to my email marketing. So I took this screenshot the other day because what I do is I actually come in and I delete my contacts because I've downloaded them. So I had 194 the other day. I simply hit that sync to MailChimp. And what it'll tell me is your MailChimp sync request is being processed. That means that they're going to take those first and last names and add them to my MailChimp so that when I send my next email out, the people who were on the trolley tour will get that email. This is not 100% automated. I would call it semi-automated, but I didn't have to deal with paper registration. Another way to use Kiwi, I don't know if you are doing this, why you would ever want to do it, because it is the biggest time waste in the world. Paper registration for any event should be outlawed. Here's the reason why. You're going to do an open house this weekend. You're going to get back to the office. You're going to spend an hour just trying to figure out the non-legible handwriting. Then you're going to print out all these sheets of paper that will end up right in a pile of paper, garbage, or on the floor of someone's automobile. People do not treat that paper like it is anything of value. Use a tool like a Kiwi or another system to deliver content, but adding those people to your customer relationship management system or your email marketing. I cannot say it enough. Do not waste not another moment trying to make out non-legible handwriting. And so it sends me an email also to say you just synced your Kiwi connections to MailChimp. And last week, I pulled a report. In the past 7 days, I increased my audience by 50 people into that email list, okay? So I have multiple lists inside of MailChimp. That list increased by 50 people in 7 days. So for me, it's always about me adding that 2,880 contacts to my customer relationship management system for my different efforts online, spending little to no money. The Kiwi version after the trial is $19 per month, okay? And we got the people from Kiwi, right? But you can also connect for free your EventBrite to MailChimp. So every time someone registers for an event, they are added to my MailChimp email to also receive. And what I like about EventBrite is it scrubs that email list. So it reduces the duplicates and it merges them if it sees the same email address twice. Oh, I love this lead generation stuff. So that's one way, right? We actually have generated leads two different ways. We are going to use Linktree inside of Instagram, and we did a combination of MailChimp and Kiwi. If you were going to get rid of one, I would say get rid of the Kiwi because you don't want to spend the money, because you can still attach your MailChimp to EventBrite. And there are other automations out here. That's just one of the automations that I like to use. So I have all these leads coming in from different places, but because I know that I'm going to send out a weekly email, I have it go to MailChimp. Are there any questions on these two parts before we dive into video?
Good stuff, Marki. Only thing I would mention is that just making sure if you're taking advantage of having companies, help participate in your events, just to make sure that you're RESPA compliant. So for the viewers that are listening.
Oh, that's excellent, excellent. You have to be RESPA in RESPA compliance because you do not want to jeopardize your real estate license or your membership in the National Association of Realtors. Annette, did we have any questions so far? And I want to make sure we get to it.
Yeah, so far, I do have people that have asked about Instagram and how to grow their following on Instagram, and really that you've just given them a ton of information. Is there a how-to step guide for everything that you just said?
You know what? I have that private Facebook group, Real Estate Live, and we already have a learning unit built out. I did a Instagram video just last week where we talk about IGTV and posting, where we talk about stories and posting, where we talk about the highlight covers. And so there's so many components to Instagram. So if they go to Real Estate Live on Facebook, I do have a social learning unit built out already for them that they can go and learn everything. Just did the video last week, so it's pretty fresh with a lot of content there. This was all for just showing you how to generate the leads, not necessarily increase the presence. You got me?
Awesome. And then you also have other resources like your podcast that you're doing with a variety of ways to support, this conversation too.
We have Social Selling Made Simple, which you can download whether you're iTunes, Spotify, SoundCloud. We also have the video replays over on YouTube. And so my goal is to always make sure that you have materials in the way that you digest them, your learning style. So whether it's visual, whether it's audio, whether it's tactile, right? I want to make sure that we cover that across all boards. So whether it's the private Facebook group or Social Selling Made Simple, the podcast that you can find in numerous locations. Thank you, Annette. I appreciate that.
Anytime.
Not a problem. Well, video is like my favorite thing, okay? And the reason is the intimacy, I would call it, but more importantly, it is that face-to-face connection, and it's called screen-to-screen selling. So earlier I stated that you have a 1 in 50 chance of converting people you've never met, but you have a 1 in 6 chance of converting people you have met. Well, if you were to implement video, you will get closer to the 1 in 6 because people get to know you. They get to see how you interact. They get to see your facial expressions. And it's real time, right? Especially the live streaming video. But there's one thing I want you to hone in on this screen. They used to say, and they still do say, a picture's worth 1,000 words. Well, if a picture's worth 1,000 words, it is estimated that 1 minute of video is equal to 1.8 million words. I want you to create 1 minute of video content every single day. Whether you do so horizontal or vertical, you have to create video content because it is the most engaging form of content, but also because of how people are consuming it. So video can increase purchase intent by 97%. 87% of online marketers already use video as a part of their digital marketing strategies. Brands that use video marketing grow their revenue 49% faster than brands that don't. Okay, that's all the reason right there. You want to grow, but I want to show you how you use video for lead generation. And live streaming video is actually my #1 lead gen tool. I want you to start thinking about creating stories, and I want your stories to be in video format. Here's why. When we think about video and we think about gaming the system, and I don't mean an illegal gaming, I listen to what Mark Zuckerberg says is important to him, and then I give the platforms what he wants because they're going to change the algorithm to accommodate what he wants. He has stated that 2019 is going to be the year for stories, messenger, and live content. But here's stories, and this is on Facebook. Your stories appear in there 4 places you can post them: your personal page, your business page, a group, or an event. And you will see that this one post received 136 views. What I'm starting to realize, if I post to my stories and then share it in the Facebook app to my feed, I'm actually getting more views and engagement on content posted to Facebook from stories, not as an organic post to the news feed. So sometimes it's not even what you do, it's how you do it in order to get more eyes on your content. Well, I do a lot of live video, and this is the one recommendation that I have for you on live video. Find the most gregarious, outgoing loan originator in your marketplace and interview them. This is Stephanie Sowell. I brought Stephanie Sowell on to do a Facebook Live video with me. This Facebook Live video, the first time we did it, received 2,700 views. Since then, roughly another 300 people have viewed it. So we've received 3,000 views. 34 times this video has been shared. And every few months, Stephanie will reshare this video in order for it to generate us leads. What I do want to point out for you is right above that yellow box, you see a bit.ly link. I do want you to get a free bit.ly account, bitly.com. Bit.ly is a URL shortener and customizer. So you see my link says bit.ly/Southside update. I'm in Chicago on the South Side. So while we're doing that video, I'm telling people consistently, click on the link in the comments. And then if we give another great tip, click on the link in the comments. So Stephanie's not my only interview. I do these interviews frequent. I wouldn't say every week, but I would say frequent. I did another one with Andrea, layer up to $19,500 to buy a house. As you can see, I'm using that same bit.ly link. 1,300 people viewed this. 14 people have shared it. So this works time and time again. Now, I am pointing out the views, but honestly, that's not my #1 priority. I want to know, did people click on the link? And better yet, did I generate any leads as a result of creating this video content? What I know is that 202 people out of what is now about 4,700 views have actually clicked on the link, and bit.ly tells me when they clicked on the link. So let's go back. Right above that yellow box, you see that bit.ly link. Bit.ly measures how many people clicked on the link. Now, one of the other reasons I use bit.ly, because it shortens long, ugly URLs and lets me customize it. At the very top, right up under Southside Update, it says that this is a Google Doc. It gives you that long, ugly URL. That says nothing about my community, which is why I shorten it to the Southside Update. So we see how many people viewed it. We see how many people shared it. We see how many people actually clicked on the link and where they clicked from. Of those people who clicked on the link, 176 of them came from Facebook, 25 came from email, SMS direct, and then 1 came from Google Android. So I know when you click and I know where you clicked from. Well, what am I taking them to? A lot of people don't know this, but inside of Google, you have a tool called Google Forms. I create free landing pages inside of Google Forms. So this is one of probably 20 landing pages I've built out. If you go over to Real Estate Live, I do have an hour video that teaches you how to build out your own landing page. Well, this is what's amazing. And I want you to look at these numbers here. I did this video, the one with Stephanie Sowell, over a year ago. Stephanie has reshared that video. So it's 34 reshares. A lot of those reshares are Stephanie. We are still getting leads as recent as February the 19th, 2019. Okay, we have received to date 45 leads, and actually this starts at line item 2, so 44 leads. And you see these leads, they just still coming in, right? As recent as February the 19th for a video that was created over a year ago that I didn't have to know anything. I just had some questions written down for the lender, and I picked the smartest, gregarious, outgoing person who is going to make me look good. So I'm using that live video for lead generation. And I'm gonna mention what Annette mentioned from a RESPA standpoint. These ladies sponsor lunch and learns, trolley tours, open houses, because we are sharing in leads, or better yet, before I go beg, I've already provided them with leads and I've exposed them to my sphere of influence. So I'm coming from contribution, but then they come back and they reciprocate. So I don't ever want to be the beggar in a relationship. I want to give you something, and just in case in the future, if I ever need something, I'm not considered begging. I'm coming back looking for that reciprocal relationship. And what do I deliver to them? This is a PDF created with a free tool called Canva, C-A-N-V-A. Now, I'm fortunate enough in our office, we have a full-time graphic designer, but you can create this with Canva, C-A-N-V-A, and then the graphic at the bottom right-hand side is a tool that my MLS provides called Infographic. So I did the video. I tell them, click on the link to get more information. I put together this cute PDF to deliver to them in exchange for their information. So you set up everything before you go live with the video and add the link to your comment. All right. Another.
Marki, you just dropped. There you go. There you go. You cut out for just a second.
Oh, I did my head. Okay, let me come back and say that again in case you didn't catch it. There are other ways to generate leads. So Stephanie Sewell sent me some information that FHA requires 10% down with a FICO score less than 580. I made the post and basically said, do you need a referral for those under a 620 FICO score? Inbox me. On the right-hand side, you see people who actually inbox me asking for information about that program. It doesn't always have to be a video, and it doesn't always have to be a landing page. But you want to share relevant information that will help people get financed where you sell real estate. Messenger is on fire, okay? Keep in mind, Facebook owns Messenger and Facebook owns WhatsApp. And one of the things that Mark Zuckerberg has mentioned recently is that he wants us to have more engaging content via Messenger, which is why we're also starting to see ads inside of Messenger. The use of messaging apps has surpassed the use of social networks. period. Okay, so more people are hanging out in messaging than they are on the social network so that they can have these one-to-one conversations. Messaging is 15 times more engaging or receiving more engagement than email. So you want to start thinking about, well, I can connect all these different tools and now I can send people direct messages. And one thing that Annette mentioned to me the other day, we were on a call, was her 10 at 10. So she is actually sending audio messages to get that engagement up. All right, she gave a awesome tip that I am implementing into my business, but we're going to send those audio clips via Messenger. Well, there is a tool, and I want you to go get this, called Chatfuel, because I want you to interact with it. Go to Chatfuel's blog post, and they have built out automated messaging called a bot just for realtors. And so you would click on that, go to Chatfuel, Chatfuel. You're going to go through their blog post, and I think this might be something we need to link to as a follow-up. I'm going to click on that preview button. When I click on the preview button, it opens up my messenger. So the next thing I'm going to do, it says in blue, get started. Click on the get started button. It then says, hi, Marki, I'm a home bot. Nice to meet you. If you're a realtor dealing in homes, I can supercharge lead generation. So then I would click, I'm ready. And then it says, hi, Marki, I'm a bot representing Casper Realty, and we sell homes in Florida. What are you looking for? I tell it what I'm looking for. It then comes back and it asks me about, do I want luxury? And if I want luxury, what price point do I want? And then it asks me for which community would I like to live in. And then it asks me what's my primary purpose. So this is an automated messaging system. And some of them are free. Some of them you can get for as little as $5 a month. You have to set it up via having a Facebook business page. However, you can do an ad on Facebook and on Instagram that take people directly to the bot for that initial interaction. And this is, don't think of this as the full-fledged conversation. This is the initial interaction. It's receiving 15 times more engagement. It is seeing a 400% increase in opt-in, and every response populates an Excel spreadsheet that now you get a better gauge for who your clients are and what they want. It then says, when would you like the keys? So it's gauging the amount of time. And then it says, thank you for sharing your info, Marki. Would you like to view matching properties or get a call from a human counterpart? All right. So we've talked about Instagram and Linktree. We also spoke about EventBrite, Kiwi Live, live video, all going to landing pages, everything tied back to one central location. For me, it would be MailChimp, and then how to put our conversations on steroids by utilizing the bots, okay? And so I'm still now, guess what, receiving messages for them because they come back periodically and communicate with you in the future. The goal would be for you to take this conversation offline and to set up a face-to-face appointment. One of my other tools I like is a tool called IfThis, Then That, IFTTT.com. IfThis, Then That allows you to connect things that normally won't connect. It allows that automation to occur between two tools that normally don't talk to one another. So I told you earlier we need to add 2,880 contacts to our customer relationship management system. Over on IfThis, Then That, I add leads in other ways besides the ways that I've taught you. I've taught you pretty much all the free ways, but I add leads in other ways through Evernote and other tools. Well, one of the automations that I use with IFTT is that it always will save a new Google contact to a Google Drive spreadsheet. So I scan business cards with Evernote. Those business cards automatically populate my Google contacts, but I don't feel like going and pulling a spreadsheet. But if I have a spreadsheet, I can also make the spreadsheet talk to other systems like MailChimp. What the numbers show, if you go to the bottom, it says that I created and set up this automation August the 1st, 2016. And that since then, I've added 5,242 contacts to my Google contacts, thereby also adding these contacts to a spreadsheet. Now, this is separate and aside, right, from everything else, because what I know is I need to add 2,880 contacts per year for every $100,000 I would want to earn if my average price point is $250,000. And this is what these spreadsheets look like. Each of the spreadsheets has a couple of thousand people. So we're probably getting ready to rotate into having our fourth form fully populated. If this, then that, automates redundant tasks, and it makes tools, their API, talk to one another if they normally don't talk to one another, or it makes it do things that normally it does not do. A backup tool to if this then that would be Zapier. Some people call it Zapier, Zapier. The difference is if this then that is still 100% free, where Zapier has a free version, but to really leverage it, you need to pay for it. I want to say that's $19 a month. When you think about 2019 and adding your 2,880 contacts to your customer relationship management system, think outside the box or take tools and use them in a non-prescribed manner. So I spent a couple of years in pharmaceutical sales at Pfizer, and one thing was we would often talk about off script, when doctors would write a script for something that wasn't an indicator because they found out that it worked for whatever that other problem was. Well, a lot of these tools do things that maybe they're not marketing the tool for, doesn't mean it won't enhance your business. So in 2019, to add those 2,880 contacts to your customer relationship management system, you have to set up systems first and foremost, but think outside of the box, do things differently so that you can stand out in your marketplace. I need to know, what questions do you have?
Outstanding, yes. Marki. So a few questions are coming up repeatedly, and that is, what CRM do you use to nurture leads?
Well, at EXIT Strategy Realty, we are provided with one. So we use a system called Promo Shop. I was also, I'm friends with Z from Contactually. Based on some buyouts, don't know where Contactually is going to go in the future. So I would need to see, what ends up happening. But Contactually was purchased by Compass, so I don't know if they're taking on new clients. So Contactually, and then as a company, we provide a CRM for our agents.
And then what is MailChimp? People want to know.
Oh, MailChimp
I know what it is. What is
email marketing? It's email marketing. And last year, they built out landing pages. So I was paying for a tool called Lead Pages, and then I was also creating free landing pages with Google Forms. Well, when MailChimp came out with it, what I decided to do was when MailChimp came out with landing pages, to clarify, I decided that I would reduce my budget and just learn how to master MailChimp, because I could get rid of lead pages and I could get rid of BombBomb email. One thing I do miss is how BombBomb email auto-populates that video inside of the email, but there are other add-ons you can do with MailChimp to bring video into the email.
Perfect. And then how do people look into Chatfuel again? What's the best way for them to get in touch with Chatfuel?
Oh,
to do the messaging in Facebook.
I would just Google Chatfuel and it'll take you to their page. But what I did, I think I'm gonna give you the link, because I use a tool called Feedly, and I just followed their blog, and it was in one of the blog posts for me to try that out. And the competition for Chatfuel is ManyChat. Some people call it ManyChat, ManyChat, but they are the two that are coming up the most, that seem to be the most reliable inside of that bot environment.
Excellent. Marki, you've provided outstanding content, and people repeatedly were asking, is this going to be recorded? Of course, we always record our Techinars so that you can listen to them later, and you'll want to. I'm sure they're going to want to stop and then rewind and then rewatch the Techinar again. You know what? A couple remarks, because I know that our attendees right now are probably in a food coma, okay, after hearing all this, Marki. But what I'm hearing you say is the importance of using technology to replace those tasks that really take up time. And there are plenty of tools out there that you can leverage, a free version, which gives you just enough to accomplish what replaces you from having to do, but not to get caught up on investing in yourself, that if there are tools that you can use to connect tasks together and keep you on the pulse of leads, you should use those. Now, I've heard you say many times, Marki, stop tripping over dollars to pick up pennies.
Yes.
And so true for this session today. We really appreciate all that you do. And remember to connect with Marki. You can find her on YouTube, Instagram, Twitter, LinkedIn, Facebook. She's everywhere. And if you are lucky enough to see her present in person, make the trip and go. Fill up a caravan full of your real estate colleagues and go. Marki, thank you so much, and thank you to all our attendees for participating today.
Thank you.